Okay guys, I've been talking about putting a video up that I said was going to be a very important video, and I cannot stress enough how important this video is. So I know for a fact, based on this chart, if price goes sideways or even sideways and up, I know exactly when Bitcoin is going to go parabolic. And if price breaks below a certain price, then we can expect a major correction. That's what we're going to cover in this video. I am going to have a special for the next 3 days. I will cover that at the end of this video, as well as giving you your current key support and resistance levels on the hourly time frame, as I normally do in each video. And also, guys, if you go ahead and subscribe, I'm debating if I'm just going to do a video or a live stream. Haven't done a live stream in a while, so I might do it in a live stream. But I do have tutorials teaching you my charting method, how I create the charts from scratch. If you're interested in that, you can access it on my website. But in the next video, there's another technique, and this is using trend lines to find fib circles, which is actually a really cool technique. You can do this with any asset. You can do it in any trading app. But I did this, created this in Discord, and you can see how price. And again, this was just creating the fib circles from these trend lines. But notice price pushed up, got rejected. This fib circle, support, resistance, came up, got rejected, was support, resistance. We crossed this one, got a pump, crossed this one, got a dump. So I thought it'd be fun to do a live stream or a video kind of showing you this technique so you can implement it yourself and just kind of give you a taste of kind of my charting method and how it works. So look forward to that, guys. So go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss that video or possibly live stream. Before we get into this chart here, I do want to cover a few other things. And by the way, guys, if you want to get into leverage trading, 3 exchanges I use and trust are BingX, CoinCatch, and BitGet. Remember, CoinCatch is a no KYC. Jump on that while you can. All those links to sign up are pinned in the first comment description. And guys, if you want to learn how to trade on BitGet's tutorial video I put up teaching you how to open a short, a long, set of stop loss, judge your stop loss, trigger orders, all that. I'll link this video now if you want to check it out. So the last video, guys, I covered your key support and resistance levels. 69,050 was your key level. Said if we stay above this point, expect some upside, but once we break below this point, I said your next downside target was around 63,187, this trend line right here. So I gave you your key support level to pay attention to. If we got below that, this would be the next target we would hit, and we did hit that target. I'll put this video now if you want to check it out. In Discord, I was basically just keeping you guys updated. The same thing. I was showing, you know, if price came down, your first point too long was 66,092. You can see I have an arrow pointing here and here. We did come down this point. We got a nice bounce. We pushed up. Then we came back down. We broke below that support. And then your next point too long was 63,000. And you can see right down here. And I did cover that in our previous video if you want to watch it. And I was covering other things. And this is what we're going to talk about today. How important this level is below. And you can see here. This, I was talking about support held, so it says stay bullish as long as we're above this point, as long as we get daily opens above. Now, if we get a daily open below this point, then we're heading to those lower targets. We're going to cover it in just a bit. And you can see right here, I was talking about if we pushed up 66.2K, which is next point too short. You see we hit this point, got rejected. We pushed up to this point and got rejected, started coming down. So that's what you get in Discord, guys. If you do want to sign up, get access to these live charts in Discord, and you want to sign up, the website is opticalcrypto.com. That link is pinned in the first comment and description. So this is that chart, the D1 chart. So just right off the bat, I'm going to let you guys know, if we get a daily open below 63,400, I think that will be bearish to somewhat slower targets. And if you remember those previous videos, this yellow, orange, and red trend line, we're going to cover that. And remember this blue ring, we know that if we cross this blue ring, price is just going to go parabolic. We've never crossed one of these blue rings without getting a pump. Your current most key resistance above is around 69,000. So upside target 69,000. Current support 63,400. If we get a daily open below that point, we're headed much lower. So this chart, guys. Now I want to cover a few things. So this I made a video. Now, guys, I've made good calls. I've made bad calls. I'm not saying I'm perfect with my calls here, but these are 3 calls I made based on this chart that did play out. This was back in, December of 2022. I made a video. I said, look, we've never crossed one of these blue rings, and I'll show you this. I'm going to zoom out just a bit. We never crossed one of these blue rings without getting a pump. This was when price was around 16,000. That was this video right here. This is Bitcoin could pump to 22K from here. I explain why, and it was because of this blue ring. I'll link this video now if you want to check it out. And you can see we crossed that ring. That was a point to buy in or go long. Now, I didn't expect us to continue going higher. Notice we got rejected at this fib channel line. We did eventually break past it and we pushed up. But again, that was your point too long based on this ring. Then I made another video. Right here it says go long at 38,000 because we were going to cross this next blue ring. Again, we've never crossed one of these blue rings without getting a pump. That was this video here. See this blue ring? We were just moving up, so it said this could be a point too short, but when we cross the blue rings, if blue ring crosses, or if Bitcoin crosses blue ring, we moon. Again, we never cross a blue ring without getting a pump. I'll link this video now if you want to check it out. And you can see that is right here. We crossed this blue ring and got a pump. So we know for a fact, if we cross this blue ring, we are going to go parabolic. That being said, if we break below a certain point, well, we know we're going much lower. This video right here says video that I made, says go long at 54K. That was this video right here. You see, is Bitcoin about to go parabolic? And that's what I was talking about. And this video was put out about a month ago. I was talking about this red trend line that was resistance and support, this orange trend line that's been resistance and support since the beginning of Bitcoin, and this yellow trend line. Notice they all converged at this point. So every time we push above one of these trend lines, we get a pump. It just happened to be converging at the same time, which meant if we cross it, we would get one hell of a pump. Now that should hold as support. So if we do get a drop, that would be the point too long. But if we go below that point, then that is the point you want to get the hell out or go short. I'll link this video now if you want to check it out. So I will cover your key support and resistance levels on the smaller time frame. I just want to cover this chart one more time, just so you guys understand what at least the time frame and the price targets that I'm watching. So as I said, and I'm just going to kind of zoom out here. I had this on the daily, so this out of the way so you can see all this. So as I said, this blue fib circle right here, you can see every time we cross it, we get a pump. We crossed it here, we got a pump. We crossed it here, we got a pump. We crossed it here, we got a pump. Here, we got a pump. Crossed it here, we got a pump. We crossed it here, we got a pump. We crossed it here, that video I made when we were 16K, got a pump. We crossed it here, we got a pump. So we know when we cross this ring, now again, your key support level, well, support levels will be this red line, this orange trend line, and this yellow trend line. Those are your key support levels. And yes, they converged to this point, right? Right here where they intersect. And now they're diverging the further out we go. So these are your support levels to watch. As long as they stay above this point and go sideways, we know for a fact Bitcoin is going to go parabolic. But once we get below this point, as I've said previously, what played out, let me get rid of all these little circles here, hold on. So as I said before, what played out here, and remember this blue ring right here, this is the blue ring. I made, these were orange rings, I just made them dark blue, just so they are easier on the eyes and you can see them, plus I have an orange trend line here. But basically, every time we cross, so notice that this blue ring right here, again, was an orange ring. We broke below it, right? And then we had a major drop. Right? And we broke this one, had a major drop. But take note, it was underneath this orange ring. So what I'm saying is, either we're going to cross this ring and get one hell of a pump, or what played out here is going to play out here. And if we break below this price, then it's very possible this correction that we had here will take place here until we cross this ring to go higher. So again, that's why I want to give you these key levels to pay attention to. And take note, if I zoom out, you can see this yellow trend line. Notice this trend line right here. If we pull it all the way back, you can see it was resistance right here. It was support. And look what happened. As soon as we broke below this point, we had a drop. We pushed up, right? It became support. We pushed up higher. We hit this orange ring, got rejected. Take note, I'm going to just focus on the yellow line, then we'll go to the orange one. Notice we broke below this point. It became resistance. As soon as we pushed above, it became support. We got a pump. It became support. We broke below it. As soon as it became support, we pushed up. And notice it was resistance back here. So that told me, hey, if we get above this yellow line, we're going to get one hell of a pump. And if we go to the orange line, right, same thing, it was resistance. Once we pushed above it, we got a pump. It became support, right, became resistance. It became resistance. As soon as we pushed above it, we got a pump, right? It became resistance. Same thing. As soon as we pushed above it, at the same time it crossed this blue ring, we got a pump. Notice it also became support. So again, that's two trend lines that told me if we got above it, we would get a pump. But we also have the red trend line. And if you will notice, it was resistance back here. Notice we pushed above it, we got a pump, became support, 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 support. As soon as we broke it, you can see what happened. Price started breaking down and going lower. So we know that we have a very, very strong support level. All three of these trend lines will be your support level. If we get below that point and that becomes resistance, then I believe it's very likely what played out here will play out here. The exact same thing will play out. We'll come back below this point and we will start having some much lower targets. That being said, if we continue sideways and we cross this ring, well, we're going much higher. So that's what I want to give you timing for this. Now again, if you have access to this chart, again, this ring is at an angle, all right? Depending on time will depend on price. So if you have access to this chart, remember, if you get access to my charts, they're live charts. You get the chart link, you can load it up, you can watch it live on your phone or your computer and know exactly when we cross it. But I can tell you at current price, right now, if we continue sideways, it will be exactly 54 days before we make contact. Obviously, if price pushes up, we'll make contact sooner. The lower price goes, the longer it takes. All right, here is about 60 days. Now, if price pushes up, let's just say, price kind of goes sideways and up, and let's say that we break above 75,690 and that becomes support, well, we know that Bitcoin's going to go parabolic. As I said, we have never crossed one of these blue rings without getting a pump. And we know, again, I showed you that video, I said, is Bitcoin about to go parabolic if we cross these trend lines? And the reason I knew this was because of how price interacted with these lines before. It was resistance, we broke above it, we got a pump. So we know that if we drop your key support level right now, we'll be right around, and again, these lines are starting to diverge now. So you're looking at 57,823 down to 55,436. And this is a fib line, fib channel line just below around 54,000. So if we get below, all right, if we get below 54,000, let's say 55,400, and that becomes resistance, then I believe we will have a major correction, and again, I believe a crash will be coming. However, if we hold above, again, if we hold above 57,000, if we continue down, your next point to go long is 57,800 down to potentially 55,177. That would be the point to long with possibly a stop loss below 53,150 around that area. As long as that holds, then again, we'll come down, we'll catch a nice bounce, we'll push back up, consolidate. Once we cross this ring, off to the moon we go. But if we do break below, all right, if we continue sideways and we break below this point and this becomes resistance, we know every time we drop below one of these key trend lines, all right, this red, orange, and yellow, every time we break them, we start dropping. And as you can see, the same setup looks like it could be playing out. That's why I said this orange ring, well, currently blue, that's why I said this ring is so important, because we are now testing this ring as resistance, right? Notice we broke this ring and we had a drop, right? But it was below this ring. It wasn't until we crossed the ring we got a pump. So the same thing could play out. We could move right down this ring until the point we cross it. And this is your key support level that I just showed you. So as long as you hold above this point, stay bullish. Once we cross this ring, go in heavy on a long, buy in, whatever you're going to do. But if this becomes resistance, get the hell out or go short, because every time we've broken one of these lines, these yellow, orange, and red trend lines, we go much, much lower. So again, this is the D1 chart on my website. Just want to make you aware of this, but if you do want to get access to this chart, you can zoom on it and watch it daily, and I will keep everyone updated Discord, but you'll have access to the chart, so you know exactly when to go long. Again, if we cross it above this point here, we're going to go parabolic. And even if we cross it down here, we know to go long, but the likelihood of us going much lower and having a major correction will increase if we get underneath this point here. So make sure you have those targets. This is just another chart in Confluence. This is on the weekly. If you notice this, and again, this is that blue ring I was talking about. Once we cross it, we know for a fact we can get a pump. This red moving average right here is the top Bollinger Band on the weekly. So you notice that we got rejected and we started coming down. Well, this is the center Bollinger Band on the weekly. And if we look at the price, if we have a price label here, and that will probably move up with time. Currently it's setting at 53,704. So if we kind of just pull this out, you can see how important a level this is. So around 55,566, we won't know exactly where that is weeks from now, but basically we know that this is going to be a key support level, and that's confluence. So if we get below the center Bollinger Band on the weekly, that becomes resistance. Well, that plays right along with this price I gave you here on this D1 chart, right? So if we get below 54,800, 55,000, you can see that that is the center Bollinger Band on the daily. So either this holds, we cross this ring, Bitcoin goes parabolic, or this becomes resistance, right? We drop below, right? We start coming down, we drop below, this becomes resistance. Then we know we're headed probably down to, and you can see this is the bottom Bollinger Band on the weekly right here. Much lower targets, and meaning we could possibly have a major correction. So we know what to pay attention to. As long as we stay above 55,000, 54,000, stay bullish. When we cross this ring, you know for a fact we're going much higher. If we get below that center Bollinger Band on the weekly, again, just like I showed you, if we get below these three trend lines, we know that we have a lot more downside. So I want to make sure I just cover that so you understand what I'm looking at and what I'm expecting. Let's go on, guys. So this is the H1 chart. This is just your key levels to pay attention to on the hourly. And you can see that this, and I covered this previous video, this trend line right here, this was around 70,644. So we pushed up, and again, I showed you in Discord, we pushed up, got rejected at 66,125. Your next upside target didn't quite make it to it, with 67,152. You can see this blue trend line right here actually is a fib channel line. We found support around 61,676. So your most critical key support level right now is 63,000, let's just say 64,000 down to 63,400. Your key resistance right now is 66,326 up to 67,135. Your next resistance above that to potentially short, 68,280, and your most critical resistance above is going to be right around 70,390. But if you'll take note, again, right here, your most critical support level is around 64,000. And if you will take note, the D1 chart, let's see right here. Where's this chart? Hold on. So yeah, like I was saying, you can see right here, 64,000. This is your most key support level. So if we get a daily open, below this trend line, actually this is a fib channel line. This goes back since the beginning of Bitcoin. This is how I knew that if we drop, this is a point to go long. But if you get a daily open below, all right, today's candle, 63,300. If you get a daily open below that point, then we are headed down to test these key levels. And this is just a zoomed in version of what I was showing you, this yellow, orange, and red trend line. So your first major support will be 58,000. Your next key support below that is around 54,861 down to potentially 54,000. If we get below that point, guys, all right, if we're below this point, that means we're going to have an epic drop. That's when you want to go short and get the hell out. But watch for a daily open above or below this point. If we keep getting daily opens above 63,300, next daily candle is 63,500. Stay bullish up to 69K. We'll see where we go from there. Obviously, if 69K holds as support, that will be bullish. If we get above this point and start pushing up, we head to this blue ring, well, we're off to the moon. But these are your key levels to pay attention to, and I cannot stress enough. If we, again, your point too long will be 58,000 down to 54,000. But if 54,000 becomes resistance, we have a long ways down. So that's pretty much your key levels. And again, guys, if you want to subscribe, I will make a video soon. I will show you this technique. Maybe I'll do it for Ethereum, maybe some different altcoins and Bitcoin, just showing you this technique. It's kind of fun to find these flip circles. But again, this is not my charting. This is not my original charting method. It's just a technique that I found that's kind of a neat way to find these flip circles. So it might be a fun video. So make sure you subscribe to see that. And again, if you want to get access to these live charts in Discord, you can sign up through the website. You can pay with USDT, but you need to email me through the website. And by the way, that's special, guys. So if you pay for 2 months, I will give you, this is only for people that have not subscribed yet or have expired accounts. If you pay for 2 months with USDT, I'll give you a third month. If you pay for 4 months, I will give you an additional 2 months. So you pay for 4 months, I'll give you 6 months. Again, that's only paying with USDT. That's only for expired accounts or for new subscribers. Let's see here. If I did, I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. And by the way, guys, if you do want to get a leverage trading for exchanges I use and trust are BigHit, BingX, and CoinCatch. Remember, CoinCatch is no KYC, great option if you are in the States. And don't forget, I have a tutorial video teaching you how to trade on BigHit. But guys, I will keep you updated. But just to recap really quick, just to zoom in one more time. And again, if you have access to this chart, it's going to be beneficial to you because we won't know when we cross this ring until we do. We just know when we cross it. That's the point to go long. But just so you understand, your key support, if we start dropping, price comes down, your point too long will be 58,000 down to potentially 55,000, all right? Depends on when you make contact. If that breaks and becomes resistance, we know we have a lot more downside. In the meantime, if we hold above that price, just like those previous videos I showed, we have never crossed one of these blue rings without getting a pump. So we know what to pay attention to. If 58,000 down to 55,000 holds, stay bullish, we will cross this ring and off to the moon we go. If this becomes resistance, we will probably move down this ring until the point we cross it, and that is where you buy in to go all in to expect more upside. Well, that's it, guys. Trade safe, trade smart. I'm out.